Hi, everybody. Hopefully, people got notifications. If you didn't, that's okay. Welcome, everybody. My goodness, we got some interesting breaking news. Oh my God, my hair's all crazy. Welcome, everybody. Looking forward to this. I didn't even know who he is. Oh, I'm surprised people don't know who Tyrone Blackburn is. Live now. Somebody that we've talked about extensively on this channel, actually, because of his various lawsuits in the industry and his various, what's the word? The way in which he kind of moves in the industry. Let me let the people know that we're live. Everyone, quick live. I'm surprised that it's taken this long. Quick live. But what he got in trouble for, we got to talk about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. You said that's why he didn't take my case. Nella says, look, Tyrone Blackburn. I covered him myself, and shout out to the plaintiff's Jane. We covered Tyrone Blackburn. Very around the time that these what's the word? The Tiny and Ti allegations came out. You guys remember those? I think that was in like. Oh, hold up. Let me fix my camera. Okay, that's too far out. Here we go. Sorry, I gotta fix my screen and my camera. There we go. Okay, Tyrone Blackburn. Came onto the scene initially, I think in 2021, when the Tiny and Ti allegations were coming about. Okay. So Tyrone Blackburn was somebody that was like, collecting information, writing letters to DAs about Tiny and Ti and all these allegations, which, by the way, amounted to nothing, not even no civil lawsuits, no criminal cases, no nothing from Tyrone Blackburn. Okay. So he's been on the scene for quite some time, very unapologetic. He has been called out, I believe, by two federal judges that we know of for the way in which he does his filings, how salacious his filings are. He does his lawsuits like Dr. Seuss, putting pictures of just crazy, what looks to be evidence type of situation to build off his case, right? During the Diddy trial, he got called out by Bana Brianna Bangolo. She called him out, said that she fired him because he was not a good attorney. He had the audacity to show up at court. It's crazy during the trial. But for those that don't know, he's had a lot of controversy. Okay, so back in June, I believe he was arrested and charged with second-degree assault for allegedly using his vehicle to basically run over a process server. He was being served for the Fat Joe lawsuit, which Joe Tacopina represents. So, not that I'm a fan of, please know I'm not a fan of Fat Joe or anything, but he was serving him, and the guy's like 66 years old, how do you run over a process server? Now, unless he got scared and he's like, I'm not stopping, I'm just gonna go. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Okay. But his practices and laws have been scrutinized. This is what he does. He will and he did this with the Nicki Minaj and I believe Jennifer Huff situation. He purports himself to be like this real victim center focused type of attorney. Okay, he does. And then he'll offer to take a case pro bono. And then basically through this, he'll send out like CNDs or letters or whatever to see if people will settle before these allegations get out. Very tactical type of situation that most attorneys do. Now, is that against the law? No, because some people might want to settle those allegations before they make it to the media. But Tyrone Blackburn has been known to also he'll just whatever's on paper, that's what he's going to do. Okay. And there's been grievances filed against him. So he's got a track record in the industry. I still don't know why people even trust him, but they do. So TMZ reported just now that that the Suing Fat Joe, indicted after allegedly moving, really running over the process server, mowing the process server. So Tyrone Blackburn, this is him. The lawyer suing Fat Joe has been indicted for allegedly running over a process server with the car, TMZ learned. Now, the law enforcement sources confirmed to us that Tyrone Blackburn has been officially indicted over the alleged incident in May, though we're told that the indictment will remain sealed until arraignment. So we can't get a copy of that indictment, which is unfortunate because I want to see it, right? Blackburn was arrested in June after cops say that he got into his vehicle while a 66, this guy's 66 years old, process server was given him papers connected to the Fat Joe case. And Blackburn then allegedly put the car in reverse and hit the processor server in the leg, causing somewhat of a knee injury. And the server claims he needed surgery to fix the injury. Now, Joe Tacopina made himself available for TMZ. Let's see what he had to say. TMZ is always there. TMZ is always there. Not a surprise at all. Okay, let's see.
This twist of him allegedly driving over your process server.
How'd that go down?
You could take allegedly out of that question, but it went down where a 66-year-old guy who was hired just to do a job of serving a lawsuit on this guy decided he wasn't going to accept service. He didn't want to be served, so he took his car and ran into him.
How is he?
He's okay. I mean, he's 66, not the youngest guy in the world, but he had some damage. He went to the hospital, had some leg, damage, but he's okay.
Going to be okay.
Live. Thank God.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. They issued an arrest warrant, and they arrested him this morning, which comes, by the way, as no surprise to me at all, guys. No surprise. It's just the latest example of his malicious and manipulative pattern of misconduct, finally coming to light. He really is an embarrassment to the legal community. This guy, it's a disgrace watching him use the court system to shield his extortionate tactics.
And it's crazy because I remember in the Tiny and TI, I will never forget, and that was really his biggest case in terms of a celebrity. I will never forget. I'll never forget when we covered it, because what he did is that he was just starting out. Okay, he had sued, I think, a place of employment or something like that. Like he had some little bit of lawsuits, but then he went big with Tiny and TI. And what he did is that he used his website, that Tiny and TI. There you go. There's Jane. Shout out to Jane. Yes, the paperwork has typos after typo. Thank you. Jane, remember when he used the Tiny and TI lawsuit to basically advertise on his platform? He was like holding press conferences. He was going everywhere. He was doing the most. And then when we got letters and paperwork about, the letters that he was sending to the DAs about Tiny and TI, they had like typos, like notable typos, like the wrong date. I remember Jane and we had the email and we like, what year did you mean with this? We had to ask him, like, what did you mean by this? And he actually responded back and he fixed it. It was almost like he did a sloppy work in typing up the letters and he just put that out there. That's what he did. It's crazy.
Two federal judges. Listen to what I'm about to say to you guys. Two federal judges in the same courthouse, Southern District of New York, have already said to him in writing, in filings on two separate cases, that he's misusing the court system to embarrass people, to garner publicity for himself, to misstate facts, misapply the law that he doesn't clearly know. If two federal judges said that about me and wrote that in an opinion, which is in our complaint, I would.
And it's weird because he's unapologetic about it. He doesn't care. Like the audacity to show up to court when one of your clients was on the stand and basically talked shit about you and said that she had to fire you because you were sending things to Diddy's team without even her permission or even consultation. That's what Brianna said on the stand during the Diddy trial. It's all on transcript, and he doesn't care. He just shows up. Like no, what's the word? It's like no shame whatsoever.
Go serve espressos at Starbucks for the rest of my life. Don't forget how this went down, guys. This went down where he initially made a demand, this Dixon, to Fat Joe. He was a hype man, literally a hype man. Guy who jumps around and hypes people up. That's all he did. From 15 years ago, by the way. So he then said, "Oh, well, I wrote half your songs. Give me $3 million." And Fat Joe was like, "Huh?" What are you talking about? That was the end of that. So because they didn't reply to that, because he didn't get money from that, the next letter from Blackburn came saying, yeah, I wrote half your songs. Give me money for that. And also I saw you have sex with minors. Like, wait, what? Where'd that come from?
He just
How
threw
did
that
miss
in
the
there.
first letter, the first demand? I mean, it's so pathetic. And look, we've spoken to some of the people he claims this happened to in the lawsuit. Unfortunately, he hasn't.
What you've discovered is he didn't, from what
Crazy.
you found, that he didn't vet these claims at all before filing.
He doesn't vet his claims. Guys, there were allegedly 33 Tiny and TI victims. And it surprised me. People no criminal charges and no civil lawsuits. The one that got sued was Sabrina Peterson, the one that was friends with this lawyer. Nothing came out of that. And he was leading the charge on all these allegations. It just surprises me that he's still able to practice law. And I'm surprised that people still go to him. Why? Knowing his track record, which then I'm sorry, like if you know how this lawyer runs his stuff, why would you go? Like allegedly, in my opinion, I just don't get it. It is weird. How people kind of ignore that, the track record, and it's very public. You said Blackburn is our very own Better Call Saul. Not Better Call Saul. It's your very own. It's crazy. Anyone going to him, not rooted. That's what I do wonder is anything because I know he's like representing, I'm not really sure, but I haven't looked into this anymore. I don't know if he dropped him or what, but Little Rod, even anybody that's represented, like you just have to be careful because he's literally been on the record. He's been criticized for his ethics. Federal judges in New York accused him of headline chasing lawsuits containing baseless claims. He has reportedly been referred to attorney grievances committees over his litigation tactics. Everybody has questioned his tactics. I think that they're warranted. And I find it interesting that he's very specific about who he talks to online, who he connects to. So it's just like people that won't push back for sure on anything that's being said. Let me make sure Lord have mercy. Thank you. I know running over the process server is freaking crazy. I know. Rotten lawyers don't say no. Under the litigation privilege, you can say a lot of things that would normally fall under defamation if you file a lawsuit. Dude will gladly take your money. Well, and it's not even if it's pro bono, I think that he's kind of hoping that the celebrity will fork over the money, right? Which then does kind of make you wonder, what is his track record? Has any celebrity actually settled with him quietly? Or have they taken him to task? I don't think anybody, not any public settlements that we know of. I could be wrong, but do we know if he's actually won any cases? And let's be very clear, he's had a very short lawyer career. I want to say maybe under 5 years. Very short lawyer career. I don't think he's been practicing. Okay, girl, baby bunny singing. When I was looking into his background, I remember seeing pictures, like recent pictures of him graduating law school. So it wasn't anything long.
In this lawsuit.
Correct. One of the people don't even know who Fat Joe is. So anyway, this is all going to come out. This is why we litigate. But this today's news is just this. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested for committing felony assault on someone. But unfortunately and sadly, it's not shocking with this guy.
Unfortunately and sadly, I mean, that literally says a lot, honestly. And then further says Blackburn represents Terrence T.A. Dixon, who sued Fat Joe for millions, alleging he helped Joe write music. Later on, Dixon and Blackburn filed another lawsuit accusing Joe of engaging in sexual relations with little people, okay? In a lawsuit, Joe's attorneys, Joe Tacopina, said was full of lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. And that's what it seems like, which, like I said, lawyers like Blackburn, I don't think they are for victims. I don't feel like they've ever been for victims. I think people need to be careful. But if victims are going to him because he's promising you this, just look at his track record. Look at his track record. My grandfather has the longest record ever than his, allegedly. Well, there you go. As a lawyer, Sylvia, see, he accepts clients who are attached to celebrities somehow, clout chaser. Yeah, like all of his clients are somehow making allegations against celebrities. Somehow, some big allegation, which then means money, right? That's what that means. So, and this was back when he was arrested. How do you run over a process server? Maybe he got scared. Maybe he was like, he's coming at me, he's gonna get me type of situation. But like I said, I don't ever really see him do any kind of like okay, girl, any kind of interviews or anything like that. When he did those claims, I mean, this is what is it? Pop Crime TV.
It is August 1st, and Fat Joe had a hearing in the Southern District of New York this morning, and this was for the civil suit against him filed by Terrence Dixon, and also the defamation suit that he filed against Terrence Dixon. So Chad Siegel.
That's a great question. So this is when he brought the minor charges. Do you think he'll represent himself? He might have to. I do wonder. He might have to represent himself. You know, that's what I was thinking. Maybe he got scared. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of scared. People are after him. But the guy was like a 66-year-old process server. Daylight? I don't know. Maybe he got scared. He's like, oh, hell no. And then he runs him over.
Was arguing on behalf of Fat Joe, his team. And, it's a lot of what we've heard before. They are claiming that Dixon and Blackburn are extorting Fat Joe because, they're claiming that Dixon's owed money from writing music from years ago. And then Fat Joe said, no, I'm not going to pay you anything. And then he kind of came back and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I saw you with minors. So he's like, this is ridiculous. Siegel says it's ridiculous.
I was waiting for Vicky. I'm so glad Vicky's here. Vicky, what do you think? What do you think of Tyrone? He was indicted on that whole situation, running over a process server. You said only a fool represents himself.
Extortion, and Blackburn does this all the time, and he's been admonished in the Southern District of New York. And then he said, quote, this is a coordinated effort to abuse the court process. He also said that Blackburn was just had a Rule 11 sanctions hearing in Pennsylvania for filing meritless claims. He was going on and on and on, and the judge, let Blackburn respond. And Blackburn said, he tried to explain the Rule 11 sanctions hearing, and then the judge was just kind of like, I don't care about this. Like, let's just focus on, this case right now. Just behave in my courtroom, etc. So he gave some details, and he said, look, we stand by our claims, and not only do we stand by these claims, 2 women have come forward and said they were with Fat Joe when they were 14 and 16, and he has given their names to law enforcement.
This is crazy. So then I was like, I got curious and I started searching how long he's actually been practicing law. And it looks like he's been, according to public record, Tyrone Blackburn graduated from law school in 2014, but he was licensed to practice law in 2018. Okay, so you're looking at what, 7 years, if that. Tiny and T.I. happened in 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021. If he's willing to run over a process servers, it seems as though he's broke and can't afford being a defendant, in my opinion. Oh my God. Come on now. You said no more. Well, he got now that is in the court transcript when the victim basically publicly said that she had to fire him. She had to fire him. The victim did. And she described, I just don't know how he even showed up to court after that. I was like, how embarrassing. Oh, by the way, I saw you. What? Clearly taking advantage of the system, hopefully. Well, he's taken a lot. Okay. For those that have followed him, and I can name a lot of celebrities, name the victims that we know that like it's never just I'm representing a victim. It's like the victim is attached to a celebrity, right? And there might be lawyers out there like that, right? Because you do have like the Lisa Blooms and the Gloria Allreds, right? So I have to kind of wonder, all right, outside of them being a celebrity, like is it just celebrities? Have you done any other work with other people, or are you just this is your bag, or what exactly? Because I could think of, I mean, Tiny and T.I. was the one that I think a lot of us started following. Nicki Minaj, he represented the victim. I don't even know what happened on that case. Does anybody know? Because I didn't even follow that. Then there were some other ones too. Diddy, there's some other ones in between too. There's the Fat Joe. He's had a number of celebrities that he is, victims that have made allegations. But I've never heard of him. Oh yes, TD Jakes. Thank you. That was the other one. That was the recent one. I think he lost that one too. I've never heard him actually win or even if it was a settlement, it might be quiet. But I've never actually heard him win anything, like anything for a victim, or a victim even giving him great feedback or anything. Nothing. Little Rod hasn't. I don't even know. Is he still representing Little Rod? And like I said, he writes these lawsuits like a Dr. Seuss book. You're looking at pictures. I don't know if you really need to be looking at pictures of, like we get it. Who was the other lady that was the go-go dancer? Adria English. She's another one. Adria English, was she initially, and then I think she dropped them and she went to other attorneys. It's a bunch of them. He said he's taking advantage of the victims all over again. I think I just don't know. I don't think he's got a great record. And why do people hire him? Well, and that's the question, is why do people hire him? I think he's even representing what's his name? The victim for damn, I can't even think of his name and I could see his face. Let me see. All of Tyrone Blackburn's clients that we know of. I want to see all of his clients publicly that we know. There should be a list because it's a lot of them at this point. So that's why I'm like, are people just willfully ignoring that? Or what's going on? I mean, I don't know. So we know. Yes. Let me see if I can find this. But there's a lot of them. Okay, notable clients. So we know, we know that he fought. Well, I don't even know if he ever filed anything against Tiny and T.I. He just wrote a lot of letters to the DAs. Little Rod was a client. A woman suing. Okay, there's a woman that was suing DJ Academics. A former hype man. This is the TA Terrence lawsuit right here. And then he's represented a number of clients. And then there's what's her name? The Kenneth Petty victim, Nicki Minaj, that whole situation, Jennifer Huff. There's that. But like a lot of them, I don't know. Has he ever won anything? Nothing that we know of. Some hire him because there's no basis and they're just as much clout chasers as other. It's gotta be a long, I mean, we need to maybe start writing a list of all of them, because there was a lot of them that connected with him, but did he ever represent him? Whatever, that's a great question. Whatever happened to the girl that was suing DJ Academics? Did that ever, anything come out of that? A lot of people who he has said to have represented and nothing came out. So I have to kind of wonder. No, he didn't. He got fired. We were just talking about that. No victories. He's just floating online. So it's like he just takes his case. And I mean, and there might be some settlements. Okay. There might be something that was quietly settled, but publicly, there is nothing that I see that, he's out there. If I were to type in Joe Tacopina, I could think about, hell, even Tony Busby. I'm not a fan, but like he's got some clients that he's won, settlements for. I don't see anything here, and nothing. He has on Justia Law, he has an opinion written by a judge about how, you know, he needs to be sanctioned, and how they're referring him to the complaints situation. And don't forget that the last lawsuit, was it the TD Jakes lawsuit? He used AI to write the lawsuits. I don't know if he used like Chat GPT to write the lawsuits. Nothing on track, and people still go with him. Not even a default judgment. Like, people showed up. he did a Chat GPT lawsuit. I know. It's that's what I heard. That it was a, hold up, let me see. I think I heard this. Chat GPT, Tyrone Blackburn. I gotta check this out. Lawsuit. I think he got in trouble. It wasn't the Fat Joe. So attorney Tyrone Blackburn has been accused of using AI such as ChatGPT to generate fake legal citations and court filings in multiple lawsuits. The most prominent instance has been cases involving musician Fat Joe and Pastor TD Jakes. Well, I do feel like maybe the reason he's not writing his own, because when he did the letter for the Tiny TI, he had a lot of typos. He couldn't get the year right on that letter. So maybe he gets a little nervous with and that's fine on me. I struggle, you know, I do. But apparently it was Joe who accused him of using Chat GPT to write his lawsuits. And a lot of this also came out in a separate defamation case. TD Jake's legal team successfully pursued sanctions against Tyrone Blackburn for submitting documents containing AI-generated citations and false claims. How do you do? Why would you do that? Why would you risk your whole law license in that? See, Vicky said it was the Jake's lawsuit. He used AI and it had cases that didn't exist. How do you write a lawsuit with cases that don't exist? Because you use the cases to cite, right? The arguments and the research. And I'm not a lawyer, but I do remember some of that, you know, when I took a couple of classes. Like, what? You can't. And people know this about him, and they just continue to go to him. Is that what they do? That's crazy. That is crazy. It's lazy. Maybe he just struggles, but he could have. Why doesn't he hire like an assistant or something? He's a real lawyer, but he doesn't conduct himself like that. But you literally, you're putting your whole law license up there. You don't cite cases that don't exist unless you want the judge to knock you flat. Well, that's what he did, apparently. But in this one, the judge's opinion is on Justia. That, you know, he has a pattern. The court declines to impose sanctions pursuant to Rule 11 on the grievance committee. I'm just kind of going through this very quickly, but apparently he's been accused of a lot of things. I just don't know, why is he allowed to practice law? How many complaints does a lawyer need to have in order to like figure something out with his law license? I'm just saying, like, how many do you need? You know, maybe he just needs to go. Like, is there a crash course for lawyers if they are using Chat GPT for cases? Isn't there like something about that? Like, they could take a crash course. You know, he doesn't have employees or assistants or paralegals. He's broke, and his whole practice is illegitimate. Well, shit. Let me see. Tyrone Blackburn. Let's see if he's updated his website since the last time I checked was a couple years ago, and he had the whole Tiny and TI situation, even though he didn't actually win any cases. Let's see. Let's go to press. He might have updated his website, because it's like nothing. His website didn't look like this. Let's see. Hold up. I'll show y'all. His website. Yeah, he definitely updated his website. I think I still have screenshots of what his website used to look like, because it was not like that at all. Look at Jade. His website is not. He says here, look at this. This is crazy work. T.A. Blackburn law focuses on employment and discrimination law. i.e. cases involving race, national origin, age, disability, okay, yada, yada. Some of his most notable, look at this, most notable representations include claims against hip-hop mogul Clifford T.I. Harris and his wife, Tamika Tiny Harris. Who did he represent in those cases? Because nothing was brought forward that I remember, unless there was a lawsuit that the victims from Tiny and T.I. brought over. But I don't remember ever seeing a filing. What I do remember, and I bet you I still have them. Let me see. I bet you we still got some of these letters. Let me bring my screenshots from like 2021. Tyrone Blackburn. He wrote letters to the DA. Oh, yes. He wrote letters to the DA. I think I might even have it on my drive. Let me check. The DA was Xavier at the time. This was in California. Xavier Basorera. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see. I'm trying to see. These were articles that I mean, a lot of this is just research that we have. I still have a lot of historic research on this. Thank you. I have the screen recording of the letter, but I don't have the letter. Hold up. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can share it. I can show you guys. Nothing came out of the no criminal charges for Tiny and T.I. Not to say that there wasn't anything, but the DA didn't charge. They went into Nevada. They wanted to make a whole RICO case out of Tiny and T.I. That whole situation, but nothing came out of that. He said he represented at the time, I believe it was like 33 victims. Nothing came out of that. Nada. Let me see. I got the letter over here. From 2021. I always keep receipts. You guys already know. You know what? He is the bishop. Oh my God. Whitehead of the law sector. Oh my God. Oh no, Jane. Can he redeem himself? At some point, he's got to be able to redeem himself. I'll show you guys what I'm seeing on my end. Look at this. This is the letter. I bet you it's still available online. This was back. So crazy. I still have this. A receipt from 2020. So this was 2021. So I'll never forget. Jane and I were talking about this, and it had the wrong date. It said 2020, and we're like, do we contact him? Do we ask him about the date? This is the letter that he wrote on behalf of victims, but nothing ever happened. They never did anything about this at all. He wrote these stories right here. These are all allegations. Summary of California. Nothing came out. There was nothing. I never saw a filing that was submitted. He can't redeem himself. So, and his website has completely changed. So, yeah, he might have represented some of them, but nothing came out of Tiny and T.I. at all. This is all, that was that. I bet you guys could probably still find this letter, but this is one of them. I mean, I kept the receipts, and I have like more receipts of when all this went down, and, you know, labeling all the articles, all the interviews that he did, everything that he said, because it was such a red flag in terms of how he was moving around with the victims. It just was. I remember this. You said, I still can't stop. LOL. He got a crash course. Well, I want to know what law school he went to. I mean, I'd probably find that out. But this was just to give you guys an idea. I'm wondering how he got his law license in the first place. I don't know. Maybe he just needed a little bit more training. You know, maybe he just went from like graduating, immediately winning like on his own. Maybe he didn't get enough training, you know, but it just didn't work out. I mean, there was nothing. No criminal charges came out of that. I remember T.I. made a song about Tyrone Blackburn. and kind of clowned him and stuff like that. You said it seemed as though it was Sabrina and he that were leading and coaching the so-called victims. What kind of a lawyer goes online with his friend and they're talking about the victim cases? That's what they were doing. And it seemed like there was a lot of coaching going on. Listen, I can believe that Tiny and T.I. are horrible individuals, but I really did think that there was a bit of a shakedown in that situation. Not to say that there's no legitimate concerns. It just made me wonder that nothing legally came out of that. Nothing came out of that. No, nothing. T.I. and Tiny sued Sabrina Peterson for defamation. So there's that. It's a lot. Nicole, we're talking about Tyrone Blackburn, who is an attorney who has been well known in the industry for a couple years now. And he basically represents victims. He takes cases pro bono and doesn't have the best track record in representing some of these victims. It's been said out there that, and these are by 2 federal judges, have made opinions about him, have referred him to the discipline board about the way in which he doesn't investigate the claims. He is very specific. If the celebrity is bigger, he'll take that case. Anything to make himself a name out there. That's what it seems like, in my opinion. We don't know of any cases that he's actually won, and he's represented a lot of victims. He might have settled some cases, but that's not public. It's not always public, so we don't know. So today, it's been said that Tyrone Blackburn has been indicted for running over a process server, 66-year-old man. And he didn't want to get served, so he pulled a GTA on the process server and backed up. Maybe he got scared and he was like, I don't know, are they really serving me or what? I don't know. It's kind of scary out there. If somebody tells you, are you so-and-so? You kind of have to say, yes, I am. Well, is there a different way to serve an attorney? Can't you just serve him through mail? I don't know, but they had to hire a process server, and this is on the Fat Joe case. So Joe Tacopina gave commentary about the situation, but Tyrone Blackburn has a horrible track record, and he called him an embarrassment to the legal field. Basically, that's what it is. He called him an ambulance chaser, an embarrassment, and all of that. What you ready? I don't know, man. Nowadays, I'm like, people get over at me in my car. I am not putting down the window. Hey, are you so-and-so? No, but I'm not going to run you over. You know what I mean? But you could tell, does somebody got a gun or process papers? Crazy, never clicks. And like I said, I've talked about Tyrone Blackburn before. He's got no shame in his game. He's got to make money. Yes, he got in trouble for using AI for his legal briefs, which I am not surprised, because if you look at it, like I was telling Jane, we were talking about it when we were covering Tiny and T.I. His earlier writings of the letters that he would write, like he got the date wrong, all kinds of grammar stuff. Listen, I am not English is my second language, so I'm the hooked on phonics season is right here. I struggle with pronunciation and wording and stuff like that. I'm one to own it, but I probably would have hired an assistant to help me out. Maybe somebody to proofread. Hell, I probably, as somebody got to have a lawyer friend to do something to proofread, or I don't know, a paralegal or something. So I do have to kind of wonder. I'm not a fan of Tyrone Blackburn. Never have been. And you said he's making Ariel Mitchell kid look legit. I don't know. I think they're friends, so they get along. I don't know, man. I would have thought English was different. No, it's not. English is not my first language. He had some questionable text in his suits. Yeah, and the way he writes his lawsuits is he puts pictures, right? So he's got like the whole Dr. Seuss. Like, instead of just describing, he will literally write a picture. Or excuse me, I put a picture of like the evidence or the exhibits. Like and that's fine because some lawsuits have it. But you're reading the lawsuit and was he the one who did the Tootsie Roll comparison with Diddy? Hold up. Diddy, oh man, I hope I don't get in trouble for typing this up. Tootsie Roll Reddit. Okay. So there was a woman who it was like a Tootsie Roll Tyrone Blackburn. It was Tyrone Blackburn, right? Picture. I think it was. Hold up. Let me see if I'll find a picture. Hold up. Please, please do not flag my video for commentary about a situation. I'm pretty sure that it was Tyrone who wrote about the Tootsie Roll. Hold up. I'm gonna see if I can pull it. Let's see. Tootsie Roll, Tyrone Blackburn. See if that comes up. So there was a woman who was it the little rod too? I'm reading. Hold up, guys. Okay. So there was a woman who alleged that Diddy had art her, and she had described Diddy's area, and there was a picture where you were comparing Tootsie Rolls for size. You know how you have the big Tootsie Roll and the little Tootsie Roll, and something about how the Tootsie Roll was smaller. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think I remember. I'm pretty sure that was Tyrone Blackburn who did that. Hold up. Let me even find out more. Let's see. Did Tyrone Blackburn have a picture of a Tootsie Roll in a lawsuit? Nancy Grace even gave commentary about it. She said that when it was in conversation with the anatomy, I'm pretty sure it was Tyrone Blackburn, but I could be wrong. I can't remember who filed that. Hold up. One article mentions that a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. Let's see. I think that was on page 6 that mentioned that. I'll see if I can find it. This was in recent filings, but who did this filing? If I'm pretty sure it was Tyrone Blackburn, and they did the little Tootsie Roll situation, and he got in trouble. I mean, he gets in trouble again. This is not surprising. I just don't know why he's able to file. Like, why is he still an attorney? Why is he still I'm just so surprised, but I don't know, man. I guess you have to do something really egregious to be in trouble. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm pretty sure there was a Tootsie Roll situation. You're definitely trolling in the depths. You said see electric chair banks the gavel. I remember the Tootsie Roll lawsuit. Oh my God, I'm not lying to you. I'm gonna show you. Even Nancy Grace gave commentary about it. Hold up. Okay, because Nancy Grace had to get in the mud too. Nancy Grace, Tootsie Roll. See? Diddy's Tootsie Roll. Nancy Grace, look. This was sad. I'm like, I can't believe they took it this far. Look. To see her?
He's afraid for his towel to fall off because he doesn't want people to see his body. He doesn't care. He's beating a woman. There you go. I thought I'd never go here, Nancy, but I have to go there because I woke up thinking about it.
Hold up. I don't know why it's doing that. If for whatever reason, there it is. Okay, play.
Concerned that we don't see that TR. I don't want to say the whole thing because this is a family program.
Oh my God. Yeah, you guys can't see it. I don't know why. Hold up. Nancy Grace, Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll reveals cross-examination. There's that. I just can't remember who said it in their lawsuit. I've suddenly see she even had it on the thumbnail. Diddy on trial. Freak off wore what a freak off. Freaky Diddy wore what at a freak off. She got a little Tootsie Roll right there. Like she was talking about there's like so many thumbnails with her on a Tootsie Roll. Anyways, let me stop. That was Nancy Grace. You know, she really used this shit to do a lot. Did you find it? I couldn't find it. Let me see. You found the article about the Tootsie Roll? Gotcha. Okay, I did see that. Hold up. Did you tag me? See, now I want to see it. Do we see the Tootsie Roll? Yes. Okay. Now, is this the article about the manhood, unflattering image, yada, 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 his anatomy? But who filed this lawsuit? I could have sworn it was a lawsuit that talked about the Tootsie Roll. Here it is. The length, no larger than a Tootsie Roll. The alleged incident in court documents, the unnamed woman gave an unflattering description of his area, saying that it appeared to be the length and girth of a large Tootsie Roll, later describing him as itty bitty ditty, according to court documents. Lord have mercy, but who filed this one? Let's see. Was it Tyrone? I don't want to miss, no, I guess it wasn't Tyrone. Anyway, so people are doing the most, but it was not Tyrone who filed that one. I thought he did. Yes, not the length. Yes. See, some of these lawyers just do too much. You know, and when in their filings, descriptions, I mean, it is what it is. Look at the guy who went up against Cardi B recently. He was a horrible lawyer, and he may get sanctioned. Who was the lawyer that went up against Cardi B recently? Not the itty bitty Tootsie Roll committee. Itty bitty ditty Tootsie Roll. No, but I'm saying not the itty bitty Tootsie Roll committee. Lord have mercy. You guys are crazy. Anyways, so the indictment for Tyrone Blackburn is sealed. Okay? It's a sealed indictment. You guys can't get a hold of it. I want to see it. I want to see what happened with this process server. Sounds like he was assaulted, so I'm here for it. I want to read it. But I mean, we'll keep an eye out once it's unsealed. And why is it sealed? Why is the indictment sealed? I don't get it. What is it? Because he's a lawyer? That's what I want to know. It was a Jane Doe, LOL. Why do lawyers get special privileges about sealing the indictments? I don't know. Well, why? We publicly know what happened. He was arrested. He was charged. So, not do the Tootsie Roll, Blair. No, Blair. Y'all are crazy. Okay. By the way, I did see that Diddy filed for his appeal. Because he doesn't want to sit behind bars for however many years he's sitting there. Bring it to light, right? Just let him know. Yes, bring it to light. Let us know what happened. What happened? I think it was a Jane Doe, the Onyanji. But I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking that it was Tyrone that filed that lawsuit, but maybe it wasn't. So I could be wrong. Yeah, that one might have been a Jane Doe. Yes. Yes. So listen. I don't know, but we will see. I will let you guys go. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that and let you guys know what's happening. Well, I know what figure of speech will be in my head for. Oh my God, that's crazy. Diddy may get reduced sentence at best. I think he's stuck. I don't think he's going to. How much is he reducing? At this point, I just Googled cases won by TB, and there's no public record, none. Right. And Miss Aldi, to be fair, some of these might be sealed. Like that could very well be the case. Because some settlements, you're allowed to seal them, right? But typically they'll say something for the record like, this case has been settled. I don't know what happened to the Jennifer Huff. Let me see if I can pull what happened to Jennifer Huff and Tyrone Blackburn. Y'all remember that one? Put a one in the chat if you remember. That was a huge one online that a lot of people talked about, and then just people stopped talking about it. So Huff, Blackburn is listed as Huff's attorney. As of recent, though, it's still a legal active matter. Some claims remain pending and have not been resolved by the public. The original complaint is there. Now, I remember that Jennifer Huff and Tyrone Blackburn went to The View, I think. I forget where they went publicly to talk about this lawsuit. There was a motion for sanctions filed by Minaj's lawyers against Blackburn, which the court denied on March 30th, 2023. So they denied some sanctions. He was about to get the sanction. Okay? He was. But he's got a horrible rep. Nonetheless, we needed a laugh. I know, it's just so crazy. I'm glad. No, we haven't heard anything yet at all. The Real or The View? The Real. Okay. Yeah. Is Tyrone the only one doing dumb stuff in this story? Sometimes indictments are sealed because the government is working on charges on something else. Yeah, I mean, that could very well be the case. Maybe there's going to be something bigger. You never know. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys are getting a lot of rest. Please and thank you. It was just a little quick impromptu. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this specific indictment. Are you surprised? Will there be more? And if you're in the comments and you can name all, if you can find a win, like Miss Aldi right here, she says she didn't find one. If you can find one case that this man has won or settled out of court, let me know. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, and I'm allowed to be wrong, and I'll correct myself. But I'm pretty sure he's not publicly won, at least one against any of these celebrities. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye, guys.